Simmons Production.
Okay, we back. It's another episode of, so, I forgot how we start this. Hold on.
It's your boy Simmons.
Yeah, I'm like,
and it's your boy Dane. And together we're Don't Shoot the Messenger. Bang, 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 bang.
Flipping it around real quick. Yeah, you know what it is. It's your boy Simmons.
It's your boy Dane.
It's Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Bang, 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 bang. Bow.
So we back at it. We back in action. You know, we've been out here living life, you know, like we get to it when we get to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff be going on. We having a lot going on our schedules, work, and all that good
The
stuff.
lack of sleep is real.
Man, I only had 2 hours.
2 hours.
I don't think they know about the grind, though.
No, I don't think so.
The grind is different. But a lot been going on in the world and in the personal life and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What's been going on in your world?
I got engaged.
Okay, let's clap it up, shall we?
Since the last time we was all together, you know, I went ahead and pulled that trigger. Put my jersey in the rafters. Went into retirement. You know what I'm saying? It's been an interesting journey.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, you know, my fiance, I still call her my girlfriend. My fiance wasn't somebody that I actively went out and looked for. It was one of those things where, you know, people talk about, like, you know, let love find you and all of that stuff. So, you know, I got lucky. So I went ahead and said, you know, no more waiting. Let's go ahead and pop the question. So we went out to Las Vegas for my birthday, and I surprised her with an Italian dinner, and had the waiters bring the ring out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we caught the, you know, if you go to my Instagram, follow me. The video is up on there. You can see her, you know, genuine emotions and stuff.
The crazy thing is, this was something that was long in the works.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to go the way it happened, but the pandemic happened and it kind of messed up a lot of things because I was originally supposed to be around.
I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money because of the pandemic.
Man.
Trying to plan these parties and stuff and tried to get him to catch the moment.
Yeah.
And it just, you know,
everything don't always go as planned.
No.
But all is well that ends well.
Yeah.
You know, so it still was a beautiful thing. So I gotta send my congrats to my boy.
Yes.
Congrats to G.
Yeah.
Man, hopefully one day I find me one, you know, that can deal with.
We're praying for
Somebody that can deal with your boy.
Yeah. Nah, man. I can't wait because we gonna look back on these moments and we gonna laugh because
Man.
you know your outlook on how you feel about it, all of that stuff. I know it's one person out there that's about to be able to tame the beast.
It's gonna take a special person.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, all right, you know what? I'll sit down for it.
Yeah.
I'll sit down for it.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, congrats. And I just been out here just doing my thug thizzle. Just been on this photography stuff more than ever, and still doing these videos, putting out content or whatnot for people and myself. Just been out here grinding, just trying to figure it out and grow the brand. That's just day to day, being a father. You know, just trying to make sure I got the funds to take care of the kids and all that stuff. You feel me?
Yeah.
So just doing that, the same old two-step, nothing changed.
Yeah.
You know, so the world is revolving. No, it's spinning.
It's
A lot of stuff going on out there between the whole vaccinations and the people can't seem to get their emotions under control.
Yeah.
Speaking towards
it's
Kanye.
It's crazy because I me personally, I don't care if you're, you know, for vaccinations, against vaccinations, for masks, against masks, right?
Yeah.
But the emotion that I'm seeing that it brings out of people is crazy. Like, people are really losing their shit on both sides.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, if you believe what you believe,
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
Because you taking care of yourself, you effectively protect yourself, or you're not a sheep yourself, or whatever you feel. You're protecting your inner circle in your world, right? But when you go out into the world and you're trying to pick fights with people, it's mind-boggling because you look crazy, right?
100%.
So me and my girl was in CVS one time, and this guy came in without a mask.
Yeah. But
he came in almost like, I'll tear this bitch up right now. That's how he walked. That's how he walked in, right? And I'm sitting there like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like nobody in the store even cared that he didn't have a mask on. Everybody was still shopping. So that's what I'm saying.
He came in to wreak havoc.
That part, you know what I mean? He came in to wreak havoc. And nobody cared about what he had going on. So,
relax, bro.
Yeah. So the point that I'm making is that, listen, live your life, live your truth, but you don't have to involve everybody with it. You know,
facts.
You know, speaking on like just the situations and everything that's going on, I have people who've been sending me information, right? And I have no issue with people sending me information. Send me information all day. But send me information from a credible source.
Yeah.
I've been getting... I meant to send you something that I had got the other day. And I was like, it took me five minutes to find it on Google as not being true. Yeah. Right? So I don't want to say... I'm not going to say nobody's name, but he's probably... If he listens to the podcast, he's going to know I'm talking about him. So I love you to death. You my brother. We go way back to high school. We go back to being kids, and I love you to death. And this is not a personal attack. None of that. So you remember last month that they were doing the African heritage flag. You didn't see that?
No.
Okay, so the couple of the super pro-black brothers that I know were putting out this information about this African American heritage flag. Yeah. It's an all black flag with like a sword in the middle and all that. It's beautiful. Yeah. And somehow, some way, this information came out that this African American heritage flag was actually a part of our history that's been hidden. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I messaged him. And I said, hey, check this out, bro. I said, I've been Googling the information about this flag, and all I found was the Pan-African flag, right, from Marcus Garvey. Yeah. And I was like, where did you get this information from so that I can go and look at it for myself, so that when I spread this information, I can spread this information with conscious, detail. Yeah. He was like, bet, I got you. So he sends me a link. The link was to Reddit.
To Reddit?
Reddit. It was a conversation that people were having in a comment section. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so this flag doesn't exist. Yeah, yeah. And the reason why I say this flag doesn't exist is because when you're looking up credible sources and credible information, that falls underneath the line under not credible information. Yeah. And the reason
he say, she say.
Is he say, she say, right? So it's not backed up by anything that has actually had a study done behind it. Yeah. So the point that I'm making is, guys, it takes you 5 minutes to be able to Google some information. You can also turn your, I believe, the Google page into a peer-reviewed journal, and you type it in, and all of the peer-reviewed journals that go to that topic pop up, so you can read credible information on it. And what a peer-reviewed journal is that say like where we do podcasts, right? And other people do podcasts, but we're part of a committee that looks at the podcast before they put it out. Yeah. And we say, you know what? These guys are credible podcasters. Yeah. These people are credible podcasters because there's a criteria in which we judge them by. Yeah. And when we say yes, they are, because people respect us, it moves forward. Yeah. That's what the journal is. It's the people from that profession. It's a select group from that profession that have actually done studies, written books, and journals about this information. Yeah. And once you get that information and they give you the okay and you read about it, that's information that you can regurgitate to people. Okay. You understand what I'm saying?
This nigga educated.
You understand what I'm saying?
So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that before then. But the point that I'm making is that when real information comes, and sometimes you get information that might strike a chord with you because you have your own self-conscious beliefs of what you believe in,
Yeah.
right? And so sometimes I'm like, I feel some type of way, and then I'm like, but the student in me knows that I have to go and check this information.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to just believe in just anything. You gotta make sure there's some type of solid information behind what you're saying, because you don't want to be miseducating other people by sharing that information.
Facts.
So you can't just run away with like, oh, that's what it is, and you just run away like, no. And it's sometimes like just off rip, like once you look at the site, you know it's not that. You know it's not credible.
Yeah, if you go to the bottom of the site, it'll show you its copyright years, right? Anything after 10 years is considered not credible. So if it's 2020 and you're looking at something from 2022, in the world of scholars, that information is no longer credible. It's no longer information that can be used in a paper or a study. Yeah. So anything after 10 years is bad. So it's easy. You just go down, look at the copyright. You can even look at the page itself on how it's actually set up to see if you're actually getting factual information.
And there's certain websites you just know, like, they're credible, like the Washington Post, what else? LA Times.
Those type of things are normally credible. We'll look at them as being credible. They're not always credible because some of the information is op-ed information. Mm-hmm. So op-ed information is usually like a reporter giving their opinion on a topic that they've been doing research on, but it may not necessarily be peer reviewed. But at the same time, it is a good starting point, and then you use that and you go down the rabbit hole to actually research what the information is. So the point that I'm just saying is that I want you guys to be able to, when you come with concrete evidence, come with concrete information. Don't be afraid to be proven wrong, and at the same time, don't be afraid to kind of gloat in knowing that what you knew was right. Because I tell people to be a wise person, because my goal is God willing to live to be an old man, right? But I want to be that old man that everybody knows, like once he starts talking, he has so much wisdom. Yeah. But I understand that being an old man and having a lot of wisdom comes with proving yourself wrong and challenging your convictions. And the only way to actually be wise is to be able to see both sides of the spectrum.
And the key to wisdom is being able to listen.
Yes.
You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Yeah. Don't be so quick to respond just to get to be right. A lot of times people want to be right. Yeah. It's not about being right. It's about getting to the right solution. Facts. Or to the right answer to whatever it is. Facts. So it's like if you stand by something, as far as like say like you told me something, and I'm like, well, that's not correct because you don't have no way to prove what you're saying, and I have every way to prove what I'm saying.
I gotta listen.
You gotta listen and take in the information and be able to humble yourself. Like, okay, and then from there be a student to like, okay, tell me more.
Tell me more. Point me in the direction to go find this information so that I can have it myself. I love pointing people in the direction to find information. Because I tell people all the time, so I'm we're big on reading, right? But we also are big on getting information any type of way that we can get it. Mm-hmm. So if it's an audio book, whether it's a what you call it, a YouTube audio book, because sometimes you can find them on their podcast or something like that. I love that, right? But at the same time, I'm of the fundamental mindset of reading. Mm-hmm. Because it's something about sitting down and reading a book for yourself. It's like that information that you read becomes a part of your DNA. Mm-hmm. And when you regurgitate that information, it's like it's your own. And nobody can distract you. Nobody can tell you anything else because you actually read it for yourself and that information became your own. So, do your
due diligence.
Do your due diligence.
Moving on from that, I guess you could say it's been a pretty strong week in the hip hop in this past week or whatnot.
Disappointing.
We can get to that. Yeah. But as far as the masses, there was a whole
traction.
The traction. Yeah. Like there was a frenzy going on.
Yeah. I loved it.
Between two major artists, two big artists. Yeah. Game changing artists. Mm-hmm. that Drake and Kanye, they both released albums within the last 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah.
Kanye dropped Donda, and then Drake dropped Certified Lover Boy. Did you listen to both or?
No, I don't try to throw no support towards Kanye, but I did listen to Drake, and I was not impressed. Mm-hmm. So I listened to maybe a good 7 to 8 songs. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I'm the type of person that I listen to an album from start to finish, mm-hmm. right? So I like to see which direction an artist is going. Mm-hmm. Are you going with the slow start to the high finish? Mm-hmm. Or are you going with the high start to the slow finish? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But with this album, I think in this album I got the Drake that I don't really care for, mm-hmm. right? And the Drake that I don't really care for is the one that comes on the melodic beats and mm-hmm. he's just rapping. Yeah. Right, the Drake that I like is the one who spazzes. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And for me, it wasn't what I like. Mm-hmm. And so after a couple songs, even though he can rap, he's talented, all mm-hmm. of that, it still wasn't my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. So I ended up turning it off. I have not gone back to it.
Okay, so I listened to both of them. Okay, Kanye's weird. He's definitely weird. But of the two albums, I like the Kanye album more than I like the Drake album.
Right.
It was more creativity to it. It didn't sound like he was just trying to just stay in his comfort zone. Mm-hmm. I'll give him credit for that. He don't always try to stay in his comfort zone. He always try to get creative and push the bounds. But
right.
At the same token, it seems like he tries to ride other people's wave. Like he'll get features on there to it seems like he's trying to keep up with what's going on in current times,
right.
Instead of just being him and just creating an art from the standpoint of who he is today. Which I can't say he's not, because he's pushing this whole new Christian thing or whatever. It's not my job to say if he's being legit or not. I can't speak to that.
Right.
But he's trying to incorporate that into his music. But what I'm noticing is that he's riding the wave of other people. But in the same token, Drake does the same thing. He gets a lot of features on his albums and ride their wave and try to let it boost up who he is. And like that's the era that we're in nowadays. Like people are like really putting out music and trying to claim not building an attraction to their own merit.
Right.
Like they're building it based off other people and what features that they got on there.
The people that is hot at that time.
Yeah.
Riding that wave in a sense.
And I guess like, and I give Kanye the benefit of the doubt because to my knowledge he didn't reveal his features on the track list. Okay. If you go look at the track list on Google or whatever,
do you think that that's an artistic thing or a narcissistic thing?
I think from what I know, artists do that so that people won't go straight to a particular song. They listen to the whole album.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like I don't know what his
his philosophy is.
Yeah. That. You know what I'm saying? As far as the Drake album, I was listening to it and I was underwhelmed. And it's like the only thing you can really compare Drake to is to Drake. So when you listen to the music that he's put out in the past, like he put out some great music. You cannot deny that Drake is not one of the most talented artists out there, regardless of what you
how
say.
You feel about him. Yes, he is. He's top tier.
You gotta give him his respect.
Yeah.
But it's just like comparing to his past music, I'm like, we could have did better than this, bro. Like I was listening to the first 6 songs, and then I was just bored. And I was like, then I started skipping through, trying to find something to see if anything was. Yeah. All right, and then eventually I just went on to something else.
Yeah.
I went back to it and I listened with a more open ear. Like it's not a bad album.
No,
it's not a bad album. It's not trash. I won't say per se it's trash.
It's not bad.
But it's just I know he could have did better. Like especially me being a producer myself. I'm the type like that pay attention to the lyrics. I did the rapping. I did the producing. Engineer, I pay attention to all that more like in detail than most people. So I'm listening to the beats. I'm like, I heard this before.
Yeah.
I heard this vibe before. I heard
Yes.
this feeling before.
Yes.
I'm not getting nothing new.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's my only thing, my only beef with the album is just that it's not trash. It's just like, it's almost like this was throwaways of the last couple albums or some shit. Like,
And knowing artists, it could quite possibly be,
mm-hmm.
right? And this could have been something that Drake and Kanye came up with behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say Drake and Kanye, man, came up with this behind the scenes is because remember Drake and 50 Cent did the same type
Kanye
of thing.
50 Cent.
Yeah. Kanye and 50
It's
Cent
marketing.
did the same type of beef years ago on Room 6 Apart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They even threw Diddy in there because I believe Diddy had an album that was coming out at that same time as well. So I think that they might have felt like right now the game is watered down. And
Mm-hmm.
I say that the game is watered down because all of the artists that actually had a sound are dead.
Yeah.
The Nipsey Hussle, dead. The Pop Smokes, dead. Guys who actually had a unique sound.
I won't go that far and say all of them is dead, but
that has a
there's a
unique
scarcity.
sound.
There's a scarcity.
Yeah.
I'll agree there's a scarcity.
Yeah.
There's some artists and there's some people aren't revealed to everybody, you know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
there's people out there.
Okay.
And I won't go that far and say, because that's like disregarding some of the people that do have
a sound. Yeah. I agree.
You know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying?
But I'm just saying it's a struggle at this point
Mhm.
to get consistent music. And I think part of the issue is that they're throwing so many new artists at us at one time.
100%.
It's every week is a new little something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard at this moment. But yeah.
Yeah. What's your take on like the whole? Because I know you said like the whole 50 Cent and Kanye thing.
Yeah.
So what's your take on this beef? Kanye dropping Drake's address and all the antics and stuff.
I'll keep it all the way 100 with you. I think it was all planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was all planned. I think that as weird as Kanye West is, he knows how dangerous that could be.
Yeah. My whole thing. I'm like, bro, like to do something like that. I'm pretty sure you can't fight that good. You shouldn't be doing some shit like that.
No,
That's how you get beat up,
That's-
like automatically, bro.
yeah, on site. Oh, but that's why I said I believe that was a part of. I really believe that they're the whole
It's planned out.
good music, OVO beef,
Mm-hmm.
is 100% a sparring contest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Did Kanye give up some real information about Drake's son? Yeah, he probably did,
Mhm.
right? But at the same time, I think that they believe in the competitiveness of the sport,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, yeah, let the best man win.
Yeah.
And now knowing that Drake had an album coming out, Kanye had an album coming out, 100% that was them trying to just, get a rise out of people, capitalize off of that for their albums.
Yeah, I mean, my only thing is like, I think everybody likes a good competition.
Yeah,
They want to see people be competitive in the hip hop culture.
yeah,
But I just wish it was from different artists.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
people that's really like going. I'm not saying get violent with it. I don't ever want that.
Yeah.
But just like say like, well, the interesting thing, the whole like Royce the 5'9", the Lupe fiasco, and what's my man's name? The other man's name? He dropped Wraith. I can't think of his name. Mickey Facts.
Yeah.
Like that was.
I hadn't heard from Mickey Facts in so long. Yeah.
That was he spazzed on that track.
Yeah.
He spazzed on that.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of stuff I want to hear. Like, cause like you gonna really get like the savviness of a lyricist.
Yeah.
And somebody just being technical with their bars, how they dissect somebody and just get real witty behind their bars.
Yeah.
That's something that's worth tuning into versus the whole Kanye and Drake thing. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, all right, this is like, it's like, bruh, like, nah. I don't
Yeah.
want to see. Well, that's a wrong analogy. I was gonna say I don't want to see two cheerleaders fight, but if you want to see competition, you want to see gladiators go at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight warlords.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just I didn't really get that from them. But on the other note, as people out here wilding out, boy Paul Pierce. What's going on, my man? He out here being a real nigga.
Listen. Inglewood.
The streets is covered out.
Inglewood. Y'all gotta come get your man. Y'all gotta come get your man because the Me Too movement is coming to Inglewood real soon. Come get your man.
That nigga was having the time of his life. Like, I'm gonna pull up the clip because that shit was hilarious.
That what did he say? Do you need support
or moral? No, he
or
said
you
you need
need
moral support or oral support. I'm like, what's wrong, my nigga?
That's sexual harassment, bro. That is sexual harassment. And if you go back and look at the video, everybody sitting at the poker table is uncomfortable.
That nigga was wilding out.
That is sexual harassment 101. He says, where you stay at? He said, no, not like that. Where you live? She said, Hollywood. He said, ooh, the rent is expensive over there. You need some help paying your rent? Hey, this nigga is a villain. He is a villain, man.
Why
Real
you not
talk.
playing?
Real talk. He's a villain.
I'm trying
He has to be stopped.
Oh, let me go. Maybe it's because you sent it to me on IG, didn't you?
Yeah. Like 2 days ago, so this should be recent.
That shit was hilarious. I'm like, yo, what is wrong with my nigga?
Yeah.
You know you can't do shit like that.
Out of control.
Well,
There you go.
And when you stay at? Oh, okay. That's expensive. You know, you got high rent. That's a high rent district.
The way he was looking at her too.
What? Baby, you need some support. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody to take some pressure off of you, baby.
Nigga is out of
This
control.
nigga up out of here.
That nigga was too drunk.
Inglewood, come get your man. Inglewood, come get your man.
You gotta watch the video just to see how lit this nigga is. It's like, bro.
That nigga got the pervert eyes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Inglewood.
That nigga was.
Bands.
You need some support.
Man.
Some more. Like when niggas start dragging their words, they gone. That nigga was dragging his words. I'm like, bro, like.
He said you need some support.
I'm like, the Me Too movement is gonna knock on your door. Like, hey, let me holler at you.
That's a nigga for sure.
He,
The definition of a nigga.
man, he left ESPN and just like, nigga, I'm about to just eat meat. Niggas, fuck that. Like, I was putting on a show.
Yeah, he said I ain't want to be there no way. You know that's
nigga,
you lie your ass off, man. Ain't nobody trying to lose no job at ESPN smoking dope.
That nigga's wildin'
That
out.
nigga's crazy. That's funny, bro.
That shit was hilarious.
I hope y'all was able to hear the audio, man, because that was hilarious.
So
That's sexual harassment. Just
don't do that. Don't ever talk.
From my profession to y'all, that is sexual harassment 101, and a business can be liable for a lawsuit because of his actions.
So especially if you somebody of his caliber, you got some money on you.
Yeah,
you definitely don't want to be talking like that,
bro. You going down?
Because there will be a lawsuit.
Facts.
So don't talk to people. Don't talk to women like that, and don't talk to people crazy.
Yeah.
Just, and, I mean, I get enjoying your time and like.
What Kendrick Lamar say? Stay humble.
Man,
sit down.
He needed. Well, he was sitting down. But
Yeah,
that nigga was talking
that
crazy.
nigga needed a nap, boy.
So let's move on to some more serious stuff.
Uh-huh.
So as any of y'all know, as far as if you've been a long time listener, my man, he went to school, got his master's, and what you get your master's in? Tell the people.
Management and leadership. My concentration is human resources.
Okay, so he's been to school for those things.
I have a
And-
bachelor's in business administration.
And so he's been to school for those things, and just aside from that, just us being stand-up dudes and being men of integrity, respect, and all of that, there's certain things that that we stand about and that we understand, and we're just people we're men of wisdom as well. We're
Yes.
students of life.
Yes.
So something that came to mind, because I come across these people, especially like within family, where you ever came across people where they need help and you don't mind helping people, but they continuously need help.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't mind helping people. I love helping people.
Yeah.
But when it seems like you just always need help, it's just like, what are you really doing? Like what are you doing with yourself?
I get what you're saying, right? Because I have family members. I have one family member in particular,
Mhm.
right? That you can't even speak to this individual without them wanting something from it, without having a sob story, without something. And it comes to a point where you have to stop. You have to look at the relationship, and you have to say, what are you doing for yourself?
Yeah, that part.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because all of us can fall on hard times. All of us can come into difficult situations in our life,
Mhm.
right? And it's like I used to say a long time ago. I used to tell my homegirl when we used to talk about relationship stuff, and she used to always deal with almost like seemingly the same type of dude, just in a different skin, right?
Yeah.
And I used to tell her, I said, if you walked around a corner 100 times,
Mm-hmm.
and every time you walk around a corner on a specific side of the street, you get punched in the head by a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
I said, eventually you would get tired of getting punched in the head and you'll cross the street.
Yeah,
Some people never cross the street.
that part. That part.
They literally get punched in the head the same way every single time. So then you ask yourself, how can I help you help yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I've come to the conclusion, you let that nigga get punched.
Oh God.
For real. You either go get it or you're not. You have to get sick and tired of being sick
You
and
gotta
tired.
get tired. Like there's only so much you can take, and it's just like I hate those people where like they come to you. So say like they want some advice and some information,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, man, I don't know, blah blah blah. And like I don't know what I should do. And you give them like your like what you think, your
Yeah.
advice or whatever, and they act like they agree with you and they hear you,
Yeah.
and they turn around and do the same bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like why did you even waste my time? Like
Some people enjoy the situation that they're in. They just like to hear themselves talk about it.
man, like they like that energy, that toxic energy.
Yeah.
It's just like you really like that, huh? 'Cause
Listen, the older I get, the more I realize that toxic environment, toxicity is addictive.
man, it can be. Oh God.
You understand what I'm saying? I probably, if we was in an AA meeting, I probably could sit in the room with people about that. When I was younger, the whole street allure, the whole fighting all the time, the high drama and all that stuff, I can like wholeheartedly say I was addicted to
It
it.
was an adrenaline.
It was an adrenaline rush type of
You
thing.
know what I'm saying? Like, oh wait, like nigga, you ready to get active, nigga?
Yeah,
Like you just like looking for it, like it's
yeah.
head hunting. It's like, bro, like
I was
calm down.
addicted to it, right? And I matured and I got past all of that, and I changed my perspective through reading and educating myself. And so there's people that I stop and I look at, and I know exactly what their issue is off top.
Mhm.
You enjoy the toxicity in your life.
Mhm.
You enjoy the drama in your life because you wanted to. You talk to me as if you wanted it to be over.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you do nothing. You remove yourself from these people, these situations, and you continue to submerge yourself in,
Mhm.
right? And because you're submerging yourself in this information and in this drama, in this BS, and in this gossip,
Mhm.
you stay in the same place treadmilling. And so for the people who are outside of the toxic environment, they don't understand, how can I help you help yourself?
That part.
In this, you know. So I feel like it's to help somebody help themselves, you genuinely have to talk to them straight to their face
That part.
and say, how much do you enjoy
Yeah.
this? It's like women who date trash dudes,
Yeah.
right? You have to ask her to her face. You have to admit that you enjoy dating trash men.
No, facts. That part.
That's the first thing. The first thing to changing yourself is admittance, right? So you have to admit that you enjoy the toxic environment that you're in. I had to admit that I like fighting, that I like drama, that I like the whole street allure. Where they from? Let's get on them.
Yeah.
Or the whole halfway fear of being out of bounds.
Yeah.
I pull up to the liquor store. I ain't supposed to be over here. Maybe somebody gonna be over there. You're playing with yourself, but you're enjoying it at the same time.
Yeah. It's because it's interesting, especially like in relationship situations. Like some people, like they legit will think like you don't love me if you ain't like doing stupid shit for me. Like you're not tripping on me and being insecure and on my head and stuff. It's just like nah, that's not like that's not healthy. That's not a healthy relationship. Having to protect yourself at all times, and you gotta like explain yourself all the damn time. Like there's no trust, and if there's no trust, it's like what are y'all doing?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like some people, they feel like it has to be drama going on in a relationship in order for it to be meaningful.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they care because otherwise he or she wouldn't be acting the way they do. It's like, no, that motherfucker crazy. Yeah, you probably want to get away from them.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want that type of energy in your life because it's too stressful.
Yeah.
Nobody got time to be dealing with that type of stress. Like, you got to get away from that type of shit.
Facts. 100%. I agree with that. 10 times over.
You know what I'm saying? Learn to help yourself. Stop running to people to pull you out of whatever trouble you in. If you can't figure it out to the point, if you always run to somebody, that's a safety net.
Yeah. And you have to be able to admit that you may be in the situation that you're in because you have some type of addiction or infatuation with that toxic thing.
I want people out there to be honest with themselves about the situation. Maybe it's not the world, maybe it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody can't be against you.
Yeah.
And maybe you have a dependency issue.
Yeah.
Where you know that somebody is going to always help you. So you don't mind pushing the envelope to the threshold of where you probably should back off and like reconsider some of your actions. You know what I'm saying? So be honest with yourself and hold yourself accountable. Stop running to people to save you. Because at some point everybody gets tired of being a superhero and it's like, hey, you don't just have to fall down and learn.
Yeah.
Go ahead, eat that route.
Yeah.
On God. Okay, let's go. Let's move over to the next topic. So we can speak on this on both ends as far as this being people that could be leaders in the community, and then and also from the perspective since you went to school for leadership.
Yeah.
We could tackle it from that aspect as well on what effective leadership looks like. So I'll let you go and shoot what you feel what effective leadership is, from both ends.
Okay, so it effective.
And also, my man's the captain of a basketball team as well.
The owner, get it correct. I am the owner, the GM, the head coach. No, but and all of those things tie in, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to condense it so because I could teach a class on this, right?
Yeah. And I ain't gonna speak on it. We ain't gonna release that out the bag.
Yeah, we're not gonna release that out the bag.
I'm gonna shut up. I was about to say something I probably shouldn't.
I'll start with the aspect. So I'll do a little teaching right now, right? And I'll start with the aspect of a leader from the streets.
The floor is yours.
The leader from the streets, the big homie type of thing, right?
Okay.
A true leader from the streets is always going to give you a perspective that challenges your reality, right? So I'm going to tell you things that I've went through and I've overcome, because there's no such thing as a loss. There's only things as a lesson, right? Your life is not your own. Your life is for somebody else. I tell people that all the time. Even before I went to school, I really believe that the things that you went through, everybody goes through, right? And somebody younger might be going through it, or somebody the same age as you may not have gone through it yet. So you use the knowledge that you got from that to be able to deliver that information to the people around you. Yeah. That's what a leader is. Somebody who holds their friends and their families and everybody around them accountable by challenging them to be better. Excellence is not perfection. Excellence is being better than you were the day before.
That part.
Right? And so I used to take that information and run with it.
Yeah.
Then I went to school. And in school I wrote a paper and I said, I believe that I am a natural born leader.
Yeah.
My professor came back and said that is incorrect.
Yeah.
I said, how is that incorrect? She said there is no such thing as a natural born leader. There are only people who were born with higher leadership qualities than others. So in essence, every person can be a leader.
Yeah.
They have to have the tool. They have to sharpen their tools of leadership, right? But the first thing you do as a leader to be an effective leader is to understand your personality.
Yeah.
So when I took the test as a leader, right, I came back as a servant leader. My leadership style is to cater to the people around me,
Yeah.
not for them to cater to me.
Yeah.
And in essence, when you cater to the people who are underneath you and the people who you are leading, the energy that you give them, they take that energy and they regurgitate it to the customer, to the person who they're providing the service to, right? So an effective leader has to know the qualities and the strengths of the people that are around. You have
Ultimately, when your cup gotta be, you gotta take your cup and pour it to other people so that
Facts.
they can be full, so that they can pour it to the customers and it trickles down.
and as much as you pour, you have to make sure that you don't drive yourself in.
That part. Refill yourself.
So you have to understand, as a leader, a lot gets taken from you. And you have to be willing to be able to know when that cap is, right?
Balance.
Because you have to be able to water others without replenishing your source of strength.
Facts.
Because if you're deplenished, then there's no way that you can lead,
Facts.
right? And if you look around in the world right now, most people have a supervisor or somebody who who they come to work and they hate, they dread being around that person.
Facts.
It's because the person lacks the understanding of their leadership responsibility.
Yeah.
Leadership is a responsibility. Leadership is not a salary.
Yeah, a lot of people just go to work and they're just there for work.
Yes.
And it's just like, whatever I'm gonna get through this day, whatever I'm gonna do, whatever I get through the day, instead of going to that job and actually trying to perform their duty effectively.
Yes.
Like just tell us, like, it's one time, it's easy. It's one thing to like try to perform effectively, and then there's another where you kind of abuse your power and you just like try to just push your job onto other people to do it for you.
Yes.
And it's like, that's poor leadership.
And
that's how you get the employees to hate you.
Yeah, and we'll go into another topic, right? When it comes to what you just said, right? Where as a leader, a true leader and an effective leader knows that they don't know everything, right? There's no such thing as a leader that is an octopus, right? Who has all these tentacles and hands are all in everything. No, an effective leader identifies somebody else with a better skill set than them and puts them in position.
It's called delegation.
To actually execute the game plan properly.
Delegation.
Right? So if I have, like myself, I have people that are around me that do a lot of things. Things that I'm not good at. Like my partner. He's good at all of this electronic, all of this setup, the media, the beats, the music that goes with it, the production. That is his thing. I'm not good at these things. So the truth of the matter is, I have to be able to allocate that time and say, listen, do what you do. Because as he does what he does, you're going to get the best quality than me saying, send me the video and I'll do it to how I don't know what the lighting should look like. I don't know how the mic should sound. I don't know how to edit the video so that it looks professional. I don't know how to do that. But there are individuals out there who lack the understanding of effective leadership that want to have their hand in everything that they do. You get the best product to the world. You'll give the best product to the world by taking the people around you who are gifted and putting them in position to shine.
That reminds me of this book that I just got, and I started reading, and I bought it because somebody mentioned it on a podcast. I believe it's Who, Not How. Let me verify that real quick. Who, Not How. And basically, the formula to achieve bigger goals through accelerating teamwork. Keyword teamwork.
Yes.
And that reminded me of that book, and I started.
No, and the thing is, listen, as a business major, right? They taught us, and they say we're in competition with like China and other countries in the world when it comes to the business world.
Mm-hmm.
But I said we're always going to be behind them because in China they start you off as doing team projects in like elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
We don't start doing team activities until college.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So by then, people are set in their ways, and you have people on your team who don't do their work, and so that means you got to do extra work and all of that stuff. I believe for us to be effective teammates and leaders and all of that stuff, we have to start young.
Mm-hmm.
And learn how to share, and like you said, delegate the task, and based on people's talents and giftings.
It should be embedded in the culture, because if you look at other countries, like they would come over here and all be working, living in the same house. It'd be like, I don't know how many people. It'd be hella people in one house, and they'll all go to that one business that they start when somebody came over here started. If it's a restaurant or a donut shop or whatever the case may be, liquor store, like they'll all play their role to grow that.
Yeah.
And then it's like a revolving door. Like once somebody got what they need, and the next one goes off and do their own thing or start another business and have a chain or whatever.
Right.
Over here in America, we not taught that.
No.
Don't get me wrong, there's some people that don't mind running a family business, but for the most part, you can't get too many people that want to do a family business. Like, I want to do my own thing. I got my own dreams.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about what the family vision is.
Right.
I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And there's a good and a bad side to that, because the good is like, okay, yeah, be your individual.
Mm-hmm.
The downside is when you participate in as a whole, as a group, that is called group economics.
Yes.
And that's a easy way to get to generational wealth, where the whole family is eating and you can pass something down to the kids and the grandkids and so on and so forth.
But what usually hinders that, right,
Mm-hmm.
is when the dreamer is not allowed to dream.
That part.
You understand what I'm saying? So you may have a family member that does something well, and you see that they do something well, and you want them to do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have to give them the balance to be able to go out and search for themselves, and also be able to pour into the family unit. You know what I'm saying? So that leads into the topic of me owning a basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I have every individual on my team I say is a leader. I have no captain.
Yeah.
Everybody has a say.
Yeah.
As long as you're respectful to one another, everybody has a say.
Yeah.
Right? I tell people all the time, my job on that team is to make sure that I protect the team morale.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if somebody has a bad attitude, they're off the team.
Yeah.
That means if somebody talks down on another person, they're off the team.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, I cannot cultivate creativity within my individuals if they feel like every time they talk, they'll be attacked.
Yeah. That part.
So you have to be able to bring
Create a safe space.
Yes, you have to be able to keep a safe space for people to expand their wings. Now, will everybody agree with how I lead the team? No. Will everybody agree that their playing time is the playing time they should be getting? No.
Mm-hmm.
Will they agree that my philosophy on everybody should have a say? No.
Mm-hmm.
But those people normally leave.
Yeah.
And the reason why those people normally leave is because they don't understand the sacrifice it takes for them to get to a certain point. Like, I've won championships.
Yeah. And sometimes it's easier to let people just weave themselves out.
Yes.
I ain't gotta even say nothing.
Yes.
Go ahead. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you want to go? Okay.
Yeah.
So you wasn't really
I tell people all the time, and being a part of any team, any organization, any friendship is sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be willing to sacrifice something of yourself for the greater good of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't sacrifice something of yourself for the greater good of the relationship, then that relationship is doomed to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So being an effective leader, you have to understand sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand the talents of the people around you and how to effectively use that. And then you have to also understand how to look at yourself in the mirror and understand what type of leader you are.
Also, to add to that, when you establish yourself as the leader, if something goes bad or if there's a loss, it's not the team fault. It's yours. You gotta take responsibility of that.
Every time.
And you can't deflect. It's like, okay, what could I have done to prepare my my staff, my team, or whatever to be able to succeed and not fail the way that we failed.
Yeah.
Because if I sit up here and say, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Ultimately is that, again, going to pouring into people.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pour enough into this person or give them enough attention to comprehend what they're supposed to be doing here, or, you know, just establishing certain grounds.
Can I just be 100% transparent and honest? I have failed people in the past,
Mm-hmm.
right? There have been individuals that I had identified on my team as leaders,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I held them to such a high standard that they felt that they couldn't do anything right.
Yeah.
So they were tired, and I told them you couldn't afford to be tired. Everybody looks to you. So
Yeah.
you need to get back on defense faster than everybody else gets back on defense.
Yeah.
And the pressure that I put on these individuals, they folded.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't fold because they weren't equipped, they weren't prepared. They folded because I did not equip them or prepare them for it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I tried to judge them off of the potential that I saw and not actually where they were.
Yeah.
So as a leader, you have to understand that you judging people off of their potential of actually being a leader and judging them off of the potential of where they are in their leadership journey
Mm-hmm.
is 100% on you.
Mhm.
Your job 100% is to equip that person to be able to reach their potential.
Mhm.
It's not to bully them into being that potential that you see.
Mhm.
So,
That
yeah.
part. I think we tackled a lot on that. I think we can shift into the last topic. I think we got a good amount of time so far.
Yeah.
The mindset to commit to something.
Yeah.
Everybody knows to accomplish something great, you have to commit at a high level. You can look at all the greats out there, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe's, the Tiger Woods, the Serena Williams, the list goes on.
Yeah.
Like even in life, if committing to a relationship or committing to your kids, committing to your family, like it's a certain amount of commitment that comes with that ground, you know, to accomplish something at a high level. But oftentimes, some people don't approach it with the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely a mindset that you gotta have, a certain mindset that you have to accomplish certain things in life, and to transcend past ordinary to extraordinary. What do you think is the mindset to committing to something?
The mindset to committing to something is the ability to give up yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when I say the ability to give up yourself is this. You have to find what that sacrifice is, like I always say. What is your sacrifice in reaching your goal? And being
Mm-hmm.
committed to anything, there is a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when I went to school, I wanted to achieve, some things that I never thought I could do.
Mm-hmm.
My sacrifice was sleep.
Yeah.
I lost sleep.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you have to understand that nothing that you do within your commitment is going to be easy. Commitment is an uphill battle.
Man, that
Day
part.
in and day out.
Ain't no off days.
There's no off days to when you're committed to reaching a goal.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand that every day, everything that you do is going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you do is going to be challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So the commitment to reaching any goal is having the mindset to no longer care about how you personally feel
Mm-hmm.
and replace that with what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to that mindset, then it's almost like running a mile.
Mhm.
When you first start running a mile, it's difficult,
Yeah.
right? So then you run again, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Then you run again, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But when you stick to it, in due time, you find yourself running 4, 5, 6 miles, and 1
Mhm.
mile is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So your endurance goes up. So that is what commitment looks like. It is always an uphill battle. It always is a long, drawn out workout that you hate. You just hate it. It's tough. It's hard. You hate it. But at the end of the day, if you stick to it, the reward is greater than the struggle.
That part. It's there's certain things to really like, even rooted in leadership and commitment. Like, you got to establish that certain goal. So I remember watching something with Kobe Bryant. He was talking about how everything he did was rooted back to how he can become a better player, regardless, like the books he read, the movies he watched, like everything was tied into becoming better and growing as the best athlete he can become.
Right.
So factoring in that, like, that can translate into life, just being the best boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, father, mother. Like, what can I do to take my relationships to a higher level? Do I take in account people's feelings? Do I always make it about me? You have to be committed to the idea that it is not just me. Like, be committed to the number one, to be a servant. When you're a servant, like, number one, you're going to automatically consider other people before you.
Yeah.
And being a servant, that's how it's the easiest way to really win somebody over, and not saying like you have some type of intention to win people, but just to get people to take that lower their guard and then be at ease with you.
Right.
And then so if you're trying to do something on a major level and they know that you always come through, they have no problem coming through for you.
Right.
They gonna have no problem going the extra mile for you. So it's like, it's a certain mindset that comes with it as far as being a leader and just life in general. If you able to go out your way to make your wife happy or your girlfriend happy, like, she ain't gonna be mine when you want a little moppy toppy at the end of the night. You're like, you know what? You deserve it.
I should have known that he couldn't go a whole episode without going left.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
Likewise, like, if you take care of your husband and whatnot, like, he ain't gonna have no problem, to go clean the plate off on you. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, you know what? You gonna rub your feet and then licky. You feel me? So, but it's like, when you put that foot forward and you establish yourself as somebody of value. I believe in establishing yourself as value, so that people can always you just won't have that issue when you need help. Usually, typically.
Yes.
Sometimes some people just care about them, they're self-centered, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But when you lead by example, it makes the process way easier.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to try to convince and persuade somebody to do this, that, and the third. It's
Right.
like, you seen what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't have to convince you to do anything. And of course, like, if you ain't trying to ask them to do anything wild, that they ain't comfortable with. But for the most part, like, when you lead by example, that's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta set that standard. Like, regards in the workplace, like, set that standard, and they know what to operate by.
Yeah. 100. I have nothing to add to that. 100%.
Yeah, because I'm like, I want to get back to the essence to when we started this, like it's a passion project. Of course, like, we have fun or whatever,
Right.
but like, really being that big homies that we are now,
Yeah.
and really giving people the game that they need. Like,
Right.
you know how I always drop the free
Yeah.
game on people and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it's just like, I'm noticing like it's really needed nowadays.
It is. That's why I know you see my my memories that pop up
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook.
Mhm.
That's why I always try to share them, because a lot of the knowledge that is in them
Mm-hmm.
are connected with an information source
Mm-hmm.
that, if somebody actually goes down that rabbit hole, would change their lives,
Yeah.
their mindset.
Mhm.
Because life is not life is a mental
Mhm.
battle. Life is not physical.
That part.
You're not tussling with people every single day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mental tussle that
Mhm.
you deal with every single day. And that's why I try to push the strengthening of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Mental strength is going to take you farther than actual physical strength.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That mental commitment to being better than you were the day before is great.
Mm-hmm.
I remember once I got to the point where I was able to master my mind and my thoughts, and I had to understand and learn the multitasking mind.
Yeah.
I had to understand that your past projects onto your present.
Mm-hmm.
Your present projects onto your future.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can control your past and not allow your past to project on your the moment that you're living in, where you can actually live within the moment,
Mm-hmm.
you start to understand yourself differently.
Yeah,
Like, you know-
write that. Y'all better write that down.
You know when your buttons are being pushed when you live in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So now you know how to control your anger.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how to control when somebody's trying to make you jealous, when somebody's trying to make you mad, when life's and obstacles come to you. You
Yeah.
know how you react when certain things can get out of your control.
Yeah.
But when you live in the moment, you see that thing coming, you say, I'm not going to react that same exact way.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to tell people, once you can control the multitasking mind, once you can control how your past projects onto your presence, that
Mhm.
projects onto your future, life and everything else is capable. But you have to remember to live in the moment at all times, because
Mhm.
when you're on autopilot, that's when you crash.
Facts. That's why, like, practices like meditation is important. Because the thing about meditation, like, a lot of times people think that, like, the key to meditation is to quiet your mind as much as possible. A lot of times people think that you're supposed to just be without any thoughts, and that is far from the truth. The way the human mind works, as much as you try, there's always going to be a thought that pops up into your head. You will never be able to quiet it 100%. But the key is to keep it as quiet as much as possible. So you get that chattering out of your head, like you were saying, like not living in the past, and you live in the present, being present. Because if you continue to look in the back, like looking back and looking in the past, you can't really walk forward straight. Have you ever tried walking and looking backwards? You're not going to walk a straight line.
No.
Like you're going to be moving side to side. But if you are able to be present within the time and walk forward and cut out the extra noise and the distractions, you can go a lot farther. You're not stopping. You're not getting off track. You know, like you're not going on IG as often, or YouTube, or stuck on Netflix, whatever the case may be. The key is to quiet, like to remove the noise in life as much as possible, so you can focus on the task. That's the whole thing about meditation. And once you understand that aspect and you apply that to life, there's a whole lot that you can accomplish. Because now you're not getting so easily distracted. Like for me, like I can easily like binge watch a good. If I find a good show on Netflix,
Yeah.
I'm putting my life on pause.
Yeah.
And that's a issue I gotta work on. That I'm working on. Because I'm like, let it be a good show. I'm like, nigga, fuck everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm stuck. Like right now, I've been watching what's the Money Heist. So it's just like you got to learn how to remove the distractions and disconnect from things time to time, because it's like, yeah, it's cool, it's engaging, it's entertaining, but how much is it really serving you?
Right.
Is it really helping you get to the goal that you're trying to get to?
Right.
And a lot of times we sit up here and be, woe is me, why am I not at where I'm trying to be at? Look at what your characteristics and what your traits and your practices are.
Yeah.
If you watching a game and you know that you should be studying, and then you fail that test,
Talk to me.
like, who can you really blame? You wasn't focused.
Do you know how many family events I missed while in school?
Man, it has to happen.
Because I was focused. It wasn't that I disliked my family or didn't want to be around them.
Mhm.
There was a goal that had to be met, and
Yeah.
in the times that they wanted me to go and hang out with them, I couldn't give up those 5 to 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So people have to understand that to reach a goal, you have to be committed to that goal.
Mm-hmm.
And from somebody that's looking from the outside in, who has never been committed to reaching anything in their life, they may not understand it and they may take offense to it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a goal and it's a focused drive,
Mm-hmm.
you move different.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's the power of commitment. When you just locked in like commitment is basically a certain understanding that I cannot waver from this. Because if I waver from this, I'm putting my future at risk.
Yes.
I'm putting my kids' future at risk. I'm putting my mom's life. If I'm trying to move my mom's out of the hood, chances at risk. Taking care of my grandma, my grandparents at risk. Like taking care of my sibling, like whatever your situation, you put things at risk, and it's like you absolutely can't do that. Let me stay committed to this. Let me stay on point with this process.
Yes.
And you don't waver in your thoughts and your feelings, because you know what's at risk. And if you really can like take that in and hold on to that and remain steadfast in that, bruh, like how many athletes we know that was just like, man, I had to move moms out the hood.
Yeah.
Like that's a story you hear often, like single parent background and all that stuff. Like they want to move moms out the hood. They knew what was at risk. So it comes to a point where it's like, I gotta be locked in, I gotta be focused. Fuck them fucking family functions.
Yeah.
I'm not saying fuck the family, but it's like
family functions.
Fuck them functions. I ain't got time. Fuck going to clubs. I ain't got time.
That's a distraction at the moment.
You know what I'm saying? Like I need to be studying. Like fuck all the bullshit. Fuck the game. Like let me lock in.
Yeah.
Let me be laser focused.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do this, then it's going to be a problem, and I know I'm not going to be able to live with myself tomorrow if I fucking fail that test.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it just comes to a point where like you have to commit and really lock into the process. And that's the information we're trying to share with y'all right now, because there's a lot of young dudes out there, young kings that they probably don't know no better, or they're trying to figure it out. They don't have the right mentors or whatever the case may be. Like, we don't know everything, but we fucked up enough to learn some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's where I stand at. It's like, I can't tell you everything. Like, I'm still figuring it out to this day. But I have fucked up at some points where I'm, hey, you might not want to do that. You might not want to do that. You might want to go that way.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't the way to do that. Like, oh, this is how you do it, or I can give you the game that I do got. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we just want to keep y'all on track, man, and not just saying just the young men, like young women as well. Like whatever information we can share to the people out there, to not get lost in the sauce, and really understand that these are hard truths to life. Like what we share with y'all, it might not always be tasteful. Like it might not be what you want to hear, but that's why this is called "Don't Shoot the Messenger," because you're gonna have to get these words and these bars, regardless if you like the message or not.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's like, hey, you can take heed, or just do whatever you feel that you feel is best in your interest. But remember that when you find out the answer, well, damn, they actually was, they was actually telling me something that I probably should have listened to. Feel me?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know anything else to add to this? We spoke good.
That's a great way to close.
Get
your shit together.
Get your shit together, man. Like this was a more chilled Simmons. I don't know if y'all peeped, but I'll be more energetic next time when I get some sleep. I'm off for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It taking tequila shots that probably ain't the best thing to do.
Yeah, tequila's so nasty.
Yeah. But until stay tuned. We will, as always, like we're gonna keep on dropping the gems. We always got things in the works. He got something that's coming up. We ain't gonna release it out the bag.
Yeah.
He already know he got my support. I'm there to hold it down however I can.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in the works. So be patient with us. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, follow the page DSTM podcast on IG. Follow lock in on the YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So until the next time is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Bang, 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 bang.